In 1980, Melbourne was a bustling industrial city with narrow streets and historic architecture. The skyline was dominated by the spires of St. Paul's Cathedral. The city's infrastructure started to evolve in the late 80s when major projects like Flinders Street Station and the Melbourne Exhibition Centre began. By the early 90s, Melbourne faced an economic downturn as manufacturing declined. The cityscape began to show signs of neglect. However, cultural development gained momentum in the mid-90s. Events like the Big Day Out Music Festival drew crowds. The turn of the millennium marked significant redevelopment in Melbourne's CBD as old buildings gave way to modern skyscrapers. In the early 2000s, Melbourne's cultural scene flourished with new galleries and museums opening their doors to showcase local talent. By the mid-2000s, Melbourne was recognized as one of the world's most livable cities, drawing international attention and boosting tourism. The city's culinary scene exploded in the late 2000s as Melbourne earned its nickname as Australia's food capital with an array of dining options. In the early 2010s, Melbourne's tech sector began to grow rapidly with many startups and incubators setting up shop in the city. The city's transport infrastructure underwent massive upgrades in the mid-2010s, including the opening of new tram lines and bike paths. By the late 2010s, Melbourne had become a hub for innovation and creativity, hosting large-scale events like White Night to celebrate arts and culture. The early 2020s saw Melbourne's population boom, leading to increased demand for housing and services. Suburban expansion became necessary. In response to the population growth, Melbourne began expanding into its suburbs and beyond. New residential areas were developed quickly. By the mid-2020s, Melbourne's skyline had become one of the most recognizable in Australia. Skyscrapers dotted the horizon. The city also saw significant changes in its green spaces as more parks and gardens were developed to provide recreation areas for residents. Melbourne's cultural diversity continued to grow in the late 2020s as more immigrants settled here. The city became increasingly multicultural. Today, Melbourne stands as one of the world's most dynamic cities, blending old charm with modern innovation. It continues to evolve,